Hey guys, it's Ross Scott, and on the Space Couch today we're going to go back to the Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary, and we're going to check out the TIE Dagger and the Sith Star Destroyer. And here is their spread. Just show you that for a moment. It's a shame the lighting in here, and with this being a black page, maybe some of the details don't come out, but there is just a page just before that about the final battle in which those ships are involved. Obviously we saw this in the trailer. But obviously there's a lot more ships involved. So I'll just read this part to you. On distant Exegol, the Sith Eternal cult is ready to launch its powerful new fleet. As it rises from the blighted surface of the secluded planet, the Sith Star Destroyers are most vulnerable to attack. It is the one chance the Resistance has to strike. The odds against the Resistance force are overwhelming, but so too are the consequences of failure. The unchallenged emergence of a new empire. This is the battle of a generation, one that will decide the fate of the galaxy. So just looking at this again, I do like the design of the TIE Dagger. We hardly see them in the film though, and it's always good to see the Imperial Star Destroyers. Although these are bigger, they've been scaled up. Of course, it's been scaled up. It's J.J. Abrams. So I shall just read Menace Revealed. Secreted in underground launch bays beneath the surface of Exegol is the final stage of the First Order's long-gestating plan of conquest. The loyalists who have been toiling in secret to bring the return of their glorious empire and to resurrect the Sith Order include engineers, shipwrights and enslaved labour. Their efforts have created hundreds of warships and thousands of starfighters ready to launch. While the Sith monolith is the site of macabre rituals that plumb the secrets of the Force, the neighbouring staging grounds represent pure military might, grounded in the imperial legacy of rule through technological supremacy. It's interesting they're calling it the Sith Order, or the Sith Eternal in some of these texts, rather than the Final Order, which is what it's called in the film. Discrepancy there, I guess, because of how the script kept changing, and eventually these pages had to be locked, and this is what they went with. However, let's just look at the TIE Dagger. I do hope you can see it properly. Bit of light on there. So you can see the triangular panels. There's the back view. This is the top view, and you see these wings are fully forward. On the old TIE fighters, obviously they're pretty much equidistant either side of the pylon, but this, they're much further forward. I guess like the TIE Interceptor, which I'm just looking at the moment in my Starship collection. I think its panels go a little bit behind, but these, they're fully forward, and there you see the side view. So let's just see what it says about the TIE Dagger. The latest generation of TIE craft have perfected the advancements begun in the TIE FO and the TIE SF lines. That's the Special Forces and the First Order TIE fighters. TIE Daggers are still short-range ships, requiring carrier vessels for interstellar missions. However, the triangular solar gather panels that give the Dagger its name are highly efficient in spreading deflector shield energy and keeping the ship's power cells energized, while compressed fuel tanks feed the twin-ion engine's high-velocity propellant. Twin laser cannons line the lower chin of the cockpit ball as per TIE tradition. These are bolstered by heavier laser cannons sandwiched between the layered wing panels, giving the Dagger a deadly punch in starfighter combat. So, here, now which one is it again? It's the heavy laser cannon, which is here, between the panels. Right there. The armoured cockpit ball and viewport, of course. The classic design. Fuel port to lower tank is basically just here. Delta-shaped armoured solar gather panel is, of course, the wing. It looks like it has solar panels on the inside as well. Red markings denote Sith loyalist affiliation. And you can see those red markings all over, like here and here and here and here. Same with the fleet uniforms, and we'll do a separate video on the Sith fleet personnel in due course. Suspended winglet serves as deflector shield projector. It might be very difficult to see, but the two wings are sandwiched like this, basically. So let's see if you can make it out here, basically. But at the bottom, which is very difficult to see, unfortunately. Shame it was on a white background, it would have come out really good. Let's see, that's all of that. Then on the rear view, you see the armoured upper cockpit access hatch, which is this. The ion thruster, the engines there and there. And the stacked reactor exhaust ports, again, very difficult to make out, but it's on the lower part of the ball, directly beneath this, so it's about there. And also there is a reinforced winglet mount, which is actually this, but it'd be the other side here, basically, so it's there. Then there's a little bit on the flight controls, which are these here. It's difficult to make out red and grey on black here. Let's hold that up for a moment to let your eye get used to it. Start to make it out. Modern TIE designs have replaced the original's two-handed yoke with two independent control columns. These have levered hand grips that translate a greater range of pilot movement into craft manoeuvres. Haptic feedback on the columns creates a strong sense of connection between pilot and ship. And there's a holographic status display and input board, which is this on here. The HUD positioning articulation on column top, which is this here. It's difficult to make out. And the left hand grip positioning arm, which is just this. So that is what it says about the TIE Dagger. I'll just read the data file. C&R James Fleet Systems is the manufacturer. The model is the TIE/DG Starfighter, obviously for Dagger. Affiliation, the Sith Eternal. Height, 7.67 metres. Length, 9.51 metres. Crew, 1 pilot. Weapons, 2 SJFS LS 9.6 laser cannons. 2 SJFS LC, I think it is, 7.0 heavy laser cannons. That means nothing whatsoever to me. So that is the TIE Dagger. Now we're going to have a look at the Sith Star Destroyer. So, Sith Star Destroyers. The spine of the emboldened First Order crusade to conquer the galaxy consists of hundreds of newly minted warships awaiting deployment. With technology perfected from decades of Imperial experimentation, the Ziston class, and that is Xyston, so I'm pronouncing that as a Z. That might be incorrect, do correct me if I'm wrong. The Ziston class Star Destroyers are not only horrifically powerful capital ships, they also carry planet-devastating first strike capabilities. They are at their most vulnerable during their launch from the Exegol factories, when their flight control systems are surrendered to a coordinating intelligence that guides their ascent through Exegol's chaotic atmosphere. This is where the Resistance must strike if they hope to stop these planet smashes before they reach hyperspace launch altitude. And there is a picture of the axial super laser of a Ziston-class Star Destroyer. Is a devastating super weapon. Bye Kajimi. So this is the command deck. Obviously all of this is the conning tower. See the red markings for the Sith Eternal. This is the axial super laser. It basically comes out from where the launch bay in the centre of it is. But the TIE fighter deployment bays are basically either side of that, so I guess it's doubling up. And then the bulge underneath is the reactor that powers the ship. But I mean, it's got a direct line to the super laser, which is why it is so powerful. What it says about the Imperial lineage. Sith Star Destroyers are based on the historic Imperial class design, but scaled up. fitted with efficient automation systems to cut down on crew requirements. That's interesting because they'd need millions of crew to crew all of those Star Destroyers. And each loaded with a reactor-fed axial super laser capable of smashing a planet far from orbit. And we see the heavy turbo laser battery is here. Any other bits that I missed? Oh yes, the point defense turret is right here at the very front. I think that's where the tractor beam generator control room is as well. Yes, it is right there also. So what else does it have? From the side, deflector shield generator dome, which obviously is the golf balls. These, and obviously you see them there as well. This is the side view now. There is that super laser. There's the bulge, and this is roughly where the hangar bay would be. Armoured superstructure, which is just generic, but it's pointing to that part, which is basically here on the front view. Forward pursuit grade tractor beam projectors, yes, right at the front. Right here. The engineering section is here, close to the reactor. Yeah, the solar ionization reactor directly feeds the super laser, and that is this here. Yeah, and that is it. The fact file: the presence of Sith loyalists within the executive boards of CNR Jameis and Kuat Entrala allowed the clandestine funneling of supplies and designs to Exegol through various intermediaries. The First Order Dreadnought was a test project that informed the Ziston-class Star Destroyer design. There is the Dreadnought there, again, black, grey on black, but the one from The Last Jedi. The day this fleet launches, freedom dies in the galaxy, says Beaumont Kin. Now, the data file on the Star Destroyer: manufacturers Kuat Entrala Engineering, model Ziston-class Star Destroyer, just call them Death Star Destroyers. Affiliation Sith Eternal, height 682 metres, length 2,406 metres. I believe the original ones were 1.6 kilometres long, so that is what, half again in size. Crew 29,585, and I think it was about 40,000 in total on the old Star Destroyers, or 25,000. One of those. Look, it makes no sense at all. Weapons: 40 heavy turbo laser batteries, 40 ion cannons, 40 point defense laser cannons, 35 variable ordnance warhead launchers, 10 heavy tractor beam projectors, axial super laser. And where was any of that during the battle? But yes, there you go, guys. The new ships in The Rise of Skywalker for the Sith Eternal, the TIE Dagger, and the Sith Star Destroyer. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or suggestion for a content topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.